absolutely outrageous, these people. Obviously, America has been better. In many cases, America, it's getting dicey. The math isn't mathing. You know, I don't want to be too negative here on this podcast. I never veer away from the cynical realities of the world because now I have Bitcoin. You know, I find peace in sats. It gives me the hope I need to address the world as it practically is. I don't need to pretend that there's a version of the universe that isn't actually real. The reality is the math isn't mathing. We're looking at the end of an empire. We're looking at a fourth turning. We're looking at a monetary regime change here. Every single person connected or within Washington, D.C. is yelling at this man while claiming that everything is perfect and fine. Okay, take a look at this punchline, ladies and gentlemen. This is the spread between March 2026 and June 2026 for the SOFR rates, the overnight funds rate. A few more Trump screenshots. This is very, 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 very bullish Bitcoin. Very, very bullish Bitcoin, which transitions me into next. This was a slew of Trump headlines all within like the same minute. You could see this 11 minutes ago, 11 minutes ago, 11 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago. Trump, if we didn't have crypto, China would. Trump, Bitcoin takes pressure off the dollar. I'll come back to that one. Trump praises jobs produced by crypto. Trump on crypto. We have created a very powerful industry. Trump, crypto is a very funny thing. Wonder what he meant by the last one. I want to focus on the Trump Bitcoin takes pressure off the dollar. What an interesting thing to say. I then will pull in this tweet from Secretary Scott Bessent on June 17th. Recent reporting projects that stablecoins could grow into a $3.7 trillion market by the end of the decade. Okay, pause. We've reported on this before. Is the U.S., first of all, let's just take a step. And so the reason the U.S. government is supposedly interested in stablecoins is because Tether is effectively onboarding Argentine cab drivers onto U.S. debt at the scale in which they're buying more U.S. debt than Germany. So they're onboarding Argentine cab drivers, pupusa chefs in El Salvador, barbers in Turkey. 50 million new wallets a quarter. They have over 400 million, I think. I don't know. Again, I'm not necessarily affiliated with Tether. They're just my co-founders and they're my friends. I don't know the business that well. But the point is, the U.S. is finding new buyers of its debt. These people in these other countries and markets are finding, a better savings account, a better way of life, a better quality of life. So they're like coins. Take pressure off the U.S. financing its deficits. Why is Bitcoin the new oil? Well, because oil, like the petrodollar was a way for the U.S. to finance its deficits. The U.S. said, price your oil in dollars. You'll get a bunch of dollars. You'll turn around. You'll invest those dollars back into our U.S. treasuries. And we'll give you weapons and protection in the form of our military. That was the relationship with Saudi Arabia. And so the U.S. found buyers of its debt with the petrodollar system. Bitcoin takes pressure off the dollar. And then to see Bessent go from 1 trillion to 2 trillion to 3.7 trillion. If stable coins were 3.7 trillion, by the way, the biggest growth for Tether is the Bitcoin price. People don't understand that. Bitcoin to being worth tens of trillions of dollars, and they send stable coins to be worth trillions of dollars. That's just my interpretation. That's my interpretation. He says, Bitcoin takes pressure off the dollar. It allows the dollar to weaken against something, and it allows the United States to grow a neutral reserve asset while finding someone to finance their deficits and buy their debt. If you go back to this, if rates come all the way down to, let's say, 0, and stablecoins have to buy U.S. debt, they're basically finding lenders at 0%. So what Trump wants is he wants the rates low. Now, I don't think they're going to bring the rates to 0. Call them 2%. So Trump finds 3.7 trillion according to Bassett. And this number just keeps going up. So this is just effectively a tool that allows these facilities and banks to exchange their US treasuries for overnight cash. So they're usually at some worse rate. So, it's not like going to the open market, but the use case is if there's a liquidity problem, if liquidity dries up. So we're at the end of the quarter. Today's the last day of Q2. Look at this spike. 11 billion hit this facility. 11 billion. The only other time anything at any scale that would be able to pop up was in, I think it was September, maybe October, late Q3, early Q4 of 2024. This is a massive, and this happens at the end of the quarter because people shore up their books right before quarter end. And so there's a few things here. This is meaningful for, it's the age old, like I could tell you how to solve the problem, but I can't tell you how to solve the problem and get reelected. You guys want to solve the problem? I'll solve the US problem in 5 seconds. Don't be the world reserve currency. The dollar will fall because there won't be artificial strength in the dollar. US assets will correct because there won't be artificial strength in US assets. The world will migrate towards where they're governed best by Mother Nature, which is Bitcoin. And we move on. Now, you'll get crushed in the midterms and you'll lose the election. Someone's going to get murdered. Bondholders, long duration asset? No. Does the US have the best airports? No. What did we do? The US went to the Middle East, put it all on red, and lost. That time, energy, effort, labor, human capital has to be made up from someone somehow. Buying Bitcoin is saying, you guys figure that out. Sounds complicated and stressful. It's not going to be my time and energy. Buying Bitcoin is saying, I'm putting my time and energy in a protected, distributed network that has morals. And however this shakes out, I know I'm not going to be involved. Because having the president say, stop focusing on cost cutting, stop focusing on principles, stop focusing on problem solving, focus on getting reelected. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to sit this one out. I can't do that. So I'm trying, my focus is getting 21 approved to where I can actually play ball. I'll put it to you that way. I think Tether and I are very, very, very excited post-approval to get started. But until then, I'm fairly limited with what I can say or do. So, I'm getting more and more tweets about this stuff. So I will go back to the lawyers. I wonder if I can put together like an update video or something. But the reality of the situation is we will have at least 42,000 Bitcoin. I can say here, I think we're going to have more upon approval. And
like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and enabling post notifications for more content on crypto and digital assets. Check out our other videos and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement helps with the YouTube algorithm and keeps the content coming. Thanks for your support. Enjoy the video.